Hello everyone, Simon here with a review of Townscaper. Townscaper is not really a game, it's more of a creative city building toy. And it's available in early access on Steam. It's a really beautifully put together kind of creative experiment by a person called Oscar Stolberg, and I wanted to tell you all about it. Ha 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 ha! You start off with a completely blank canvas of sea and lots of colours on the left hand side of your screen at the moment. Whatever you build on your first layer will be pavement essentially and road, but what you do there vertically and horizontally and by the colours that you choose will algorithmically build a town for you as you go. You just left click away as you go and off and away it spins. It's really simple to kind of get going. So long as you can see a white highlight depending on where you're going, you can build. Depending on the map that you've been given and where you're placing all of these objects though will determine algorithmically what happens to your city. So it could be that you're building small little houses, it could be that you're building around little canals and trying to do like a River Thames as you go. It could be that doors and windows are placed in your small little tiny houses, or it could be a big long singular block of colour that becomes like a massive long winding house or a street of houses. If you start to build vertically and higgledy-piggledy, then it will start to build out weird and wonderful struts everywhere to make everything feel like it's almost like very colourful favelas. And it's so satisfying to watch this town just really quickly build out in front of you, complete with the plop sounds that it does as you splash into the water to start off new and build up as you go. It just is so satisfying and engrossing and moreish to just keep on clicking and seeing what happens. That's how I've generally spent most of my time playing the game. But it's also why I've kind of worked out that there's a key word in the marketing and the information here, and it's algorithmic. This game is not procedural. Procedural implies that there is randomised chaos involved, whereas here with Townscaper, it really is algorithmic. If you do the same thing over and over again, you will get the same results. So if you build, say, like a 3x3 square of houses, it will always fill in with a courtyard in the middle, and like big back gardens for your imaginary people to be playing in. If you're building upwards, it will always build the same type of things, and then if you take out cubes in the middle, it will then have like little mini gardens or structures in there depending on where you've taken it out of the building. If you then start to build across, it will build bridges, or it will build like connective struts in the same way. So there is order to what is going on in the weird and wonderful magic that this Townscaper is. And that's why I think you could use it for quite a lot of different uses. What I've already seen is that as people have been building out and sharing their different types of environments and levels that they're creating, people are using it as a way to visualise things like pen and paper RPGs. I would personally also use it if I was making a text-only novel or choose your own adventure experience, so that you could give some kind of context to locales as you visit different places, because it is so evocative and beautifully put together, and also not straight lined, if that makes sense. When you look at the map, because there's a grid option that you can form so that you can kind of see where the pieces lay, there are bends in the roads and things like that, and it just gives, it's such a small little tweak, but it gives it life, because then you get like star-shaped buildings or triangular buildings or buildings that just kind of half moon it a little bit and bend around and just feel a little bit more malleable is the word that I'd use to describe this game, because everything just feels like you could squeeze it. It's such a good aesthetic, and I'm super intrigued to see exactly where this all goes. The developer doesn't really know what they want to do with this creative toy, but I'd argue that actually this is probably going to be the biggest selling point of whatever he does with it, so it doesn't need to really have too much of a gamer attached to it. So long as there is ability to export and do, I don't know, like fly-throughs of the game itself in like some kind of person cam, or if you could drop in and walk around it as a human being, that would be amazing. It could also do with maybe some life-giving aspects, and I'm thinking more like the game, or another similar creative tool, Flowscape, where you can build out like your forest areas and you add in animals that are flying over and things like that. That would be amazing. The most important quality of life feature that I'd really like to see added to Townscaper, though, is the ability to draw more than one block at a time. If you could click and drag so that you could then build out, say, like, I don't know, a 2x2 block of the same colour, or like drag and create like a bendy road of something of the same colour, that would be really, really helpful, because then you can kind of guide something very similar to how you'd maybe draw roads in City Skyline, something like that. That would really be a great quality of life feature of Townscaper, as well as the ability to really truly save and export some of your stuff, because the copy to clipboard kind of works okay-ish, but as you start to build more and more towns as you go along, it becomes very cluttered very quickly. But this is a superb early access toy, and I'm really super excited to see where this goes, and to see more and more of that algorithmic generation just take us all in different directions, because you could have different themes, different parts of the world kind of settings and skins, I guess. And yeah, that would be enough to keep me more than happy and amused with Townscaper. If you've done anything with Townscaper, I'd be interested to know how you get on with it and what uses you would find for it, aside from satisfyingly clicking away and building stuff. And there'll be a written write-up of this over on Higher Plane Games at the end of the week. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.